What's up, everyone? Welcome to Yours Avenue, and today we're going to talk about Wonder Woman 1984. Because yesterday we learned that Warner Brothers is going to release Wonder Woman in theaters and on HBO Max on Christmas Day. But before I get started, I want to let you guys know that me and Rob are going to be live streaming Wonder Woman, the first movie to prepare for Wonder Woman 1984 in December. So we don't have a set date yet, but I just want to let you guys know that we'll be live streaming, and we would love for you guys to join us so we can prepare and get hyped together for the sequel. So they're going to be sticking with their Christmas release, and they're going to release it on both in the theaters and on HBO Max. And this is the first ever. We've never seen this before. We've never seen a blockbuster movie as big as Wonder Woman being released on the same day in theaters and on HBO Max concurrently, right? Because usually they release it in theaters and then maybe a few days later they release it in streaming, or they release it in streaming and then they release it in theaters. It's never on the same day, especially for a movie as big as Wonder Woman, right? And then the original plan was to release it in theaters only, but due to the pandemic, they had to change course and have different discussions. There's been rumors that Warner Brothers was thinking about maybe pushing the movie back a few months, or possibly just releasing it in streaming, or releasing it on Christmas Day and then maybe give it a few weeks and release it in streaming. But it looks like they decided not to do any of those and just release it all in the same day on in theaters and then HBO Max. And I think it's because of how HBO Max performed in quarter three, because the report came out that I have the report right here. In quarter three, so that's from July to July, August, September. They got 28 million customers to purchase the app, but only 12 million of those people actually activated and used the app in quarter three. So that's almost half of those customers actually used it. And they looked at a report, and they definitely changed course, and that's probably why they decided to release it on both theaters and on HBO Max. So personally, I could have waited. As much as I love going to the theaters and as much as I love how the cinema has responded to the pandemic, and I actually feel pretty safe. I watched Tenet about a month ago, and I felt really safe in the theaters. But I definitely could have waited. I'm very patient. I love being indoors, and I could have waited. And especially with possibly things moving forward because of talks of vaccination in the U.S. Who knows? But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I can kindly see it. So if they waited longer, we could have just released it in theaters, and things would have been all good. But I totally feel like we're overdue for a blockbuster movie. I feel like we've waited so long, for a big, gigantic movie like Wonder Woman. It's just the fact that I'm kind of scared that they're using Wonder Woman as a testing ground, because this has never been done before, right? Because other movies, uh, as big as this movie, I can't even compare it because like Mulan came out and they only released it in streaming, right? And you had to pay for that, and a lot of people didn't like that. But HBO Max is going to be completely free as long as you have the subscription. So I think that's a plus side for a lot of people, right? They're not turned off with the fact that, oh, I have to subscribe and pay $30 for this movie. A lot of people were turned off about that with Mulan, but not doesn't seem like the case with Wonder Woman. So that could be a plus, and that could get a lot of people to subscribe with HBO Max and actually use the app. And I'm actually waiting. I don't have HBO Max right now. I'm waiting for something to really pull me in. They just released the Fresh Prince reunion, and I fucking love Fresh Prince, right? And I'm a huge fan. And they released it yesterday on November 17th and or 18th. And for some reason, I don't think it's the perfect time right now. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Probably gonna wait till Wonder Woman comes out, and I'm gonna watch. I'm definitely gonna watch Wonder Woman in theaters first, and then subscribe to HBO Max and then just watch from there. Um, but there's a lot of cons to this, right? Even though it's only going to be released in U.S. because HBO Max is only in the U.S. That is a huge pro for a lot of us in the United States. We get to really have fun with Wonder Woman. It's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it. But there's a lot of cons, and the cons are mostly international. For everyone that's watching this internationally, where you don't live in the U.S., it's going to suck for you because we're going to enjoy this film, you know, and on streaming and in theaters for whatever theaters are open, while you watch it, possibly on an illegal website where it's, you get like cam footage or you torrent it illegally on Pirate Bay. And that's a huge, huge con. And I think, Warner Brothers, they already know. I mean, they're releasing on streaming. I mean, it's going to get ripped, right? So you guys are going to get the, HD ripped footage anyways if you watch it on an illegal streaming website. And it sucks that people have to resort to that because I know there's fans out there that would pay money to watch it on HBO Max or even in theaters, but the fact that they don't have either even theaters open or have access to HBO Max, they have to resort to watching it illegally because who knows when they'll get HBO Max in the theaters or HBO Max in their country or when the theaters will open in their country as well. Because I was like scrolling through Twitter and people in the threads were people outside of U.S. and how they're frustrated at the fact that U.S. isn't the only country, right? U.S. isn't the only country that has Wonder Woman fans. She's worldwide, and so a lot of you guys out there were pretty upset that we're gonna get it first, and you guys have to resort to either streaming it or downloading it illegally. And I'm curious on how Warner Brothers is going to combat that because that's definitely going to affect how much money this movie it made. The movie's budget's like over 200,000, I believe, or 200 million, and so I'm curious on how they're going to measure whether this movie is successful or not because I know that with Mulan, it was considered a failure. The production budget for that one was 200 million, and worldwide they've only made 66 million so far. Opening weekend they only made 35 million, so that was complete, I think, utter fail for me. I believe it was a fail, and even though they gained so many subscribers with Mulan on Disney Plus, they didn't make their money back. So I'm curious on how Warner Brothers, I guess AT&T and Warner Brothers, they really want subscribers. I guess that's the goal. I guess that's the long-term goal. Get subscribers in, regardless if people watch it in theaters or not. I guess the long-term goal is to get subscribers in and then have them pay, for however long, and they'll just make their money back. I guess that's the motive. I guess that's what they're shooting for. But there's huge cons to this, and I guess if this is successful, this could definitely change how other platforms like Disney Plus and Netflix and how they release their movies, their blockbuster movies. I know Netflix is already there. They're releasing all the blockbuster movies through their platform, but with Disney Plus, with specifically the Marvel films, with the other superhero genre or the other brand in the superhero genre, with Black Widow, everyone's talking about this online like. Watch, if this is successful, Disney Plus is going to announce that, Black Widow is going to be released for free on Disney Plus and in theaters or just free on Disney Plus. And I totally don't agree. I think this scenario is only perfect for what we're in, the pandemic. I feel like every blockbuster film should wait. If it's meant to be released in theaters, have it released in theaters. But it's only if we're not in a pandemic. If we're in a pandemic, yes, release it in theaters and release it in streaming, and we'll deal with it because it keeps us safe, right? So I totally I'm still for the movie business or the theater business, and nothing will take away me going to a theaters, experiencing a blockbuster movie like Wonder Woman 1984, and just having a good time. It's just there's just nothing like it, and so I hope other movies. I hope Disney Plus. If we're still in the pandemic, I hope they release Black Widow for free on Disney Plus and in theaters, so we can experience both. But once this is all over, man, I hope this is not a trend. I hope they don't keep it this way, and I hope things go back to normal with the movie theaters at least. So yeah, so this is a big. This is a big thing. Everyone got super excited that we got Wonder Woman 1984 for Christmas. For us U.S. citizens. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments below. How do you guys feel about this? Would you guys have waited for Wonder Woman to be released, maybe until summer if the pandemic is over by that time, or are you guys glad that we're getting it in theaters and in streaming come Christmas Day? And also, are you going to be watching it in theaters or in streaming for those that are in US? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.